Hi. Um, I know I look really, really rough. I'm gonna ask you ahead of time not to judge me about how rough I look, considering what this video and the series of videos is going to be about. Um, I broke my leg yesterday. Um, I'm not quite sure how it happened. Um, I have been sick for the past week. With what I thought was a sinus infection, and it could have also been viral. But I was so weak, and I was standing over here by the bed, and I was holding my dog in one arm, and then I bent over this way to try and pick something up off of a low table, just like this. And I don't know if my knee dislocated or just like the muscles just gave out because they were so weak. But my knee just gave way, and I heard all of this snapping and cracking, and it was awful. And I went straight down. I fell straight this way, straight to the floor, screaming bloody murder. And my best friend was here, and thank God she called 911 and they got me to the hospital. And I decided to share my broken leg experience, and I'm going to be sharing it throughout the whole experience because when I have looked up information on YouTube about having a broken leg, I can't find any, there are hardly any personal experiences that I can draw from. And I feel like doing this will benefit somebody um, at some point. So, in the ambulance, on the way, or well, first here in the apartment, the EMTs came in and they looked at my ankle. And even though I could already see that there was swelling that didn't look right, they said, "Oh, well, there doesn't look like much swelling, and I don't see any discoloration yet. So you probably just sprained it really bad." EMTs are not doctors. They're not doctors. Nope. So they made like a judgment call, not based on what I told them of the events, because I told them that I heard it break. That I heard it break. And they could look at both of my ankles and see that they don't look anything alike now. And because my leg break is very low, close to my ankle. And they were determined that they didn't think it was a break. They thought that I had like broken ligaments or something. And so they get me in the ambulance, and then when they make the call to the hospital so that the hospital can decide exactly where they want to put me and how, like, where I am on the list, they start telling them things like, um, no visible signs of swelling, no discoloration. The patient heard a small snap, and I wanted to scream over the phone that they were lying through their teeth. I don't know what the fuck was wrong with them. I don't know. Because none of that was true. None of it. I told them I heard multiple breaks, not snaps. I told them I didn't just hear a little snap. I heard a break, multiple. And I was sure that it was broken. And there was visible swelling already. And my roommate could see discoloration on one side of the ankle before they even got there. So I don't know whether they're having vision problems or I don't know. I don't know. I just I don't think men tend to take women's pain very seriously or listen very well when it comes to how bad our pain is and what we think actually happened. Anyways, so we get there, and because of what those imbeciles said, they actually triaged me, and I had to wait in a wheelchair in the waiting room. And I couldn't even get off of the gurney into a wheelchair because as soon as I tried to lift my leg, there was no support. And so they're like, oh, well, we're going to have to splint you. No, shit, Sherlock. It's broken. I just can't be like swinging it around like Tarzan. It's got to be splinted. So they gave it a very rudimentary splint, got me in a wheelchair. I'm still basically inconsolable. I'm just a big ball of tears. And then the women in the triage realize how bad it is, and they get me into acute care really quickly. And so I get in there, and I'm really not in there for very long. And I get a nurse practitioner, I believe, that comes to see me. And she walks in and takes a look at my leg and my ankle and immediately says, oh yeah, I think that's broken. Hasn't even touched it yet. Just looks at it and says, oh yeah, I think that's broken. And says, okay, we need to get you in for some x-rays and I'm going to get you something for pain. And gets the ball rolling. So at this point, the hospital is treating me great so far. They give me morphine for pain and start an IV and decide to take me down for x-rays. And they get all the x-rays done and everything and then take me back to the room. And when they get the x-rays back, it turns out, yes, they're not only broken, they're surgically broken. So it's bad enough that I actually have to have surgery. And I don't even at this point know what that's going to involve. I haven't even met with the orthopedic doctor yet. I haven't even heard back from him yet. And, sorry, I'm in some pain. And So she said, well, I'm going to call the doctor. And all of this began because I was sick and taking antibiotics, and I was weak. My muscles were weak, and so I couldn't support the weight. I was just standing still when this happened. I broke my leg when I was standing still. I didn't even know that was possible. And so so she calls him, and he decides that since I've been sick, he wants me to finish my course of antibiotics before he can do any surgery. And and so they're juggling whether they want to admit me or send me home. I told them I would rather them admit me because I'm afraid of what's going to happen if I go home. Because I'm so weak. I'm so weak that I don't know what's going to happen. They decide to send me home anyways. So they send me home with crutches, and they splint my broken leg. It's broken. Both major bones are broken. I have nothing holding it in support. And so it is just fucking broke. And they have splinted it. And the nurse decides, instead of taking my foot and splinting it in the position that it's been most comfortable, that she is going to take my foot and push it up where it hurts and try and splint it like that. So they're splinting me, and I am in excruciating pain while they're splinting me. And even after they've given me so much pain medication, I'm in excruciating pain just while they're splinting it. And so I get home, and we're trying to get out of the car, and I know that I am too weak to use the crutches. Just too weak. Like, I was just standing there, and I broke my leg. How do you think I'm going to have the strength to use my arms and my shoulders and my other leg to use crutches if I'm not even strong enough to just stand still without breaking my leg? Like, what kind of genius idea is that? So, luckily, my best friend has had a broken ankle before, and she has this wheelie cart that you put your knee on, and it has handlebars that have brakes on it, and I can use that. So even though it is painful, I decide to try and use that to get into the house, to get into our apartment building. And I wheel through the parking lot, and I get to this 3-inch concrete step up onto the oh God, what's it called? I'm so fucking loopy. I can't even, the sidewalk. And I cannot get it up onto the sidewalk. I don't have the strength to get it up onto the sidewalk, and there's no ramp. There's no ramp there to get it onto the sidewalk. And I don't know what to do. So I keep trying to get it up there. And finally, I end up hitting my leg and just excruciating pain. And I'm like, oh my God, this is not going to work. And so my roommate is like, okay, well, let's try the crutches, see if we can get you over this hump with the crutches. And so she goes and gets the crutches and brings them to me. And then I'm trying to do it with the crutches, which was even worse. And I at one point felt that I was about to put weight on my foot when I definitely not supposed to. And I could feel it happening. And so I had to push myself off the crutches and fall onto my back to prevent it from happening, because I knew that it was just going to be more damage. So there I am, I'm on the cold ground, and I don't know how I'm going to get up. I have no idea how I'm going to get up. I'm just bawling, because they should not have sent me home. They should not have sent me home. There's no way for someone with a leg this severely broken to take care of themselves at home. So we keep trying and trying and trying to get me over that step. And then once we get me over that step, I just dragged myself over the step on the ground. And then once I did that, I did not have the strength to pull myself back up to a standing position to use the rolly thing to get to the apartment. And it's like ice cold out, so I think I'm going to have to crawl hands and knees all the way to the apartment. And my best friend and roommate is just, she's inconsolable. She's bawling her eyes out because she doesn't know what to do to help me. And we're both just at a loss. We don't know what to do. And thank God, 2 neighbors are out walking their dog. And one a man and one a woman. And we had a blanket with us. And so, and I used to work in in-home health care. And so I had her wrap the blanket around me and tie it like a lifting strap. And so both of them, my bestie and the man, had to lift me with the lifting strap, while the woman had to hold the rolly thing in place so that I had something to press against with my arms and try and lift myself with my other leg that had basically no strength in it, so that I could just try and get into the apartment. Finally, I get into the apartment, and I'm in so much pain, and my leg is just throbbing at this point. And all I can think of is I should never have been sent home. I should never have been sent home. And so last night, I tried so hard to stay ahead of the pain. And it's been like a constant losing battle to stay ahead of the pain. Like, there's just no way. Like, I'm so loopy from the amount of medication that I have to take to just make it bearable, that every once in a while I will think to myself, damn, my leg hurts so bad it feels like it's broken. And then I'm like, fuck, you're an idiot. Yes, it is broken. And then I have to remind myself, okay, well, you're high off pain medication. You're not thinking correctly, because you have to be so doped up just to be able to handle it. like I am, you can probably tell, I am so doped up right now that I feel really woozy. But my pain level in my leg is only down to like a 6.5 from a 10 to a 6.5. And even going to the bathroom is an ordeal. And so this has just been a very harrowing experience. I'm considering going back to the hospital and forcing them to admit me because I can't do this. It is just a couple days until Christmas. They cannot put this off till after the holiday. I cannot live like this till after the holiday. Like, oh my God, I think I'd just die. And the way that they splinted it was so wrong that I'm constantly having to try and adjust it because it's sitting in such a way that causes me more pain. Pain in the heel of my foot, pain in the spots where the breaks are. It just, like, the doctor should have been there to tell them where the breaks were and how to splint it properly and what to do and what not to do according to where my breaks were. But they didn't. The nurses were just there, and they just splinted me just like I was anyone else, which you can't do. You just can't do it. Because, if someone has a break in a certain area, that if you push on their foot and you push their foot up, it's going to pull the bones out of place. I have a surgically broken leg, which means it's going to have pins and rods to hold it together. It has no structure of its own right now. And they're just playing around with my foot. And it's like, I just need to be as pain-free as possible until they can get me into surgery. Because this splint isn't going to save anything. This splint is just here to keep it still. And I woke up this morning feeling like my leg was being sawed in half from the inside out. I was completely unaware that you could stand still and still break your leg. I wish I had a great story to tell about when I broke my leg. But it is the stupidest story ever. I was sick, and I was so weak that my muscles just gave out, and my leg went snap, snap, snap. And that's it. That's it. Anyways, I don't know what's going to happen because both my roommate and I are in pretty bad straits. We don't have any money. She's on disability, and I'm applying for disability because I can't work. And we might be homeless in like 4 months. And I have no idea what to do now. Where to go from here. And there's no way to figure anything out, especially while I'm as fucking loopy as I have to be just to be able to tolerate this. Anyways, I'm going to do continued updates, including, I'm hoping, pictures of my break, the x-rays, and letting you guys know about the surgery and the aftercare and the rehab for my leg and everything. And, really let you know what it's like, because I can't find it out there anywhere. And I feel really lost and scared. So I figure maybe if I do this, the next person won't be so lost and so scared. So I hope that if you're watching this and your leg is broken, I hope that you feel better really soon. And I hope that it wasn't as bad of a break as mine. And that you're getting all the help you need. And if any of you want to pray for me, you're welcome to. I don't care what denomination you are. Just but I'm gonna help where I can, because I feel lost. And maybe someone else won't feel so lost if I do this. So, anyways, subscribe and like this video, and stay tuned, and I will post videos as new information comes in. They won't be as long-winded as this one, because this one is the first one explaining everything that happened, so the future ones will just be update videos. So I hope that all of you are healthy and well, and if you're not, I hope you're getting the help that you need. So